Time for another story. It's been a while. I love the song Angie Baby by Helen Reddy. I always wanted to write a short story on that. And so it goes, here it goes. It's called Angie's Brain. The young man was wearing a pair of blue jeans and his Letterman jacket, which was unbuttoned, showing part of a picture of a light green marijuana leaf on his dark blue t-shirt. It was a chilly yet clear Friday night in mid-September. He was on his way to Angie's house to celebrate. He was a receiver for the Cheney High School Blackhawks varsity football team and made the last-minute catch for the winning touchdown against the East Valley Knights. The Blackhawks were down 21-17 against the Knights with less than a minute left of the game. It was 3rd and 10. The Blackhawks were on the 35-yard line. A field goal would be an easy shot for the Blackhawk field goal kicker, but they were down by 4 points. A touchdown was needed to win the game. Taylor, the quarterback, said while in the huddle, "Wickerman, go 5 yards, stop. Williams, go 10 yards and take a hard left. Stillwell, go long down the line. Break." Taylor got behind Johnson, who was the center, and called the snap. He backed up 3 steps and saw his opening. Stillwell had outrun his opponent and was wide open. Taylor let the football soar. It was a perfect spiral. Stillwell ran under the ball and caught it on the 20-yard line. It was an easy run for the touchdown. While the players were in the shower, Taylor said, "Stillwell, we're going to Taco Bell to celebrate. East Valley has been a thorn in our side for some years. You broke our losing streak. You made the winning touchdown. Come with us." Taylor didn't care for Stillwell, as he was an odd duck, but he did make the winning touchdown. Inviting him was the least Taylor could do. Stillwell said with a sly smile on his face, "Sorry, I can't. I have a date with Angie. Tonight's her lucky night, but thanks for inviting me." Stillwell excused himself after getting dressed and walked into the night. Jed Stillwell stood a good 6 feet 2 inches and weighed nearly 180 pounds. He was a prime specimen of what a young man should look like, what a young lady dreamed about, and he knew it. Chad Stillwell noticed that Angie had not been in school since the beginning of the year. He had asked around about Angie's absence and was told that her parents pulled her out of school. She was a little touched in the head, so was unable to continue going to school. Angie was a beauty, with straight blonde hair that reached to the middle of her back, legs that wouldn't quit, and breasts that made a young man wanting for more. She was bright, but Chad didn't care. She wasn't bright, but Chad didn't care. Angie was beautiful, and that she might be easy prey. He needed her, he wanted her, and he knew that she wanted him too. On this chilly September evening, Chad decided to walk over to Angie's house to see if he could get a glimpse of the blonde beauty. He deserved a good look at her after winning the football game. He knew which window belonged to her bedroom. He had been there on a number of occasions trying to get a peek, but was never satisfied. Angie was just out of reach. Maybe, just maybe, he would get a lucky be lucky tonight. Because it was dark, Chad was able to sneak around Angie's house without the fear of being caught. The neighbors kept their curtains closed as they would be watching their televisions, keeping to themselves. Angie's bedroom window blinds weren't quite closed, so Chad had a good view into her room. She was dancing to the music that she was playing on her iPad, wearing only her bra and panties. Her hair was tied into a ponytail, which bounced around as she moved. It was quite hypnotic. Angie moved like an angel, swaying to the music. Chad began wanting her more and more as he watched the beautiful creature perform. He lightly bit his lower lip as he concentrated on Angie's dance. Headlights shone on him for an instant, but he was quick. Chad ducked and watched Angie's parents leave the house. It was 8:30. The gods were looking after him. The night couldn't get much better. Angie was dancing for him, and nobody was going to stop her. His eyes went back to his angel and her dance. Chad went to the front door, thinking that there must be a way to get in and have his way with Angie. He had to have her tonight. Chad rang the doorbell, and waited. Waiting, patiently waiting. Chad heard footsteps and became a little nervous. Hold on, he told himself. You're every girl's dream. No need to be being nervous. The door opened, and the most beautiful creature was standing right in front of him. Yes, can I help you? Angie asked slowly, because that was how her brain worked. I see your have gone. Can I come in and visit with you? Chad asked, faking his shyness. I've noticed that you haven't been in school this year, and I was worried about you, he continued in his full humility. Angie said, I don't know. My parents told me that I shouldn't let strangers into the house. Chad was quick. My name is Chad Stillwell, and I go to Cheney High School. I saw you sometimes in the hallway last year. I wanted to talk with you, but I was shy. You're so beautiful, and I was afraid to talk with you last year. Please let me come in and visit with you. Angie opened the door and invited Chad in. You can have a seat in the front room if you'd like, Angie said. Would you like something to drink? She asked. A Coke would be fine, thank you, Chad said. He took a seat in the front room and waited for his angel to come. Angie came in with two Cokes and sat in the chair opposite Chad. Chad asked, Why did you leave Cheney High? Angie replied, My parents thought I shouldn't go to school anymore. They think that I am different than the other special ed students. They think that I am dangerous. Chad had a shocked look on his face. He asked, Really? Why? There was a girl in my special ed class that was mean to me. Her name was Betty and had Down syndrome. She went missing. My parents think I had did something to her. And she answered, Like what? You don't seem capable of doing harm to anybody, Chad said. I don't know. They think that maybe I made her vanish, she said. That's weird that they would think that about you, Chad said. How would you like to listen to some music? He continued, changing the subject. Angie got off the couch, went over to the stereo and turned it on. That's good music, Chad said. You You could dance to that. Would you like to dance with me, Angie? He asked. I heard you were a good dancer, he continued. That sounds like fun, Angie said. She began to move with the music. Chad sat and watched for a while. He couldn't keep his eyes off of her movement. Angie reached for his hands and pulled him up. Well, let's dance, Chad, she said with her slowness of speech. That's how her brain worked. They began to dance, and as they danced, Chad thought, wow, this is going to be easier than I thought it ever would be. Wear her down, and she will be mine to do with as I please. I just pray that her parents won't come home soon. Chad took Angie and pulled her in gently. Let's slow dance for a while, he whispered in her ear. Dancing with Angie felt good. Chad began wanting her. He pulled her in tighter. He could feel her heartbeat. She wants me, Chad told himself. As Chad slow danced with Angie, he began to feel dizzy. The room began to spin around him, and he felt that he was lifted off the ground. What the hell is going on? He thought to himself. Chad began to feel smaller and smaller until Chad appeared in a field of wildflowers of all colors. The sky was deep blue with scattered clouds, puffy and white. On the other side of the slow flowing creek were many ponies of different colors. They were frolicking. In the distance, Chad could see snow peaked mountains. He was confused as what happened. What the hell happened to me? And where am I? He asked out loud to himself. From behind him, a voice said, You're inside Angie's brain. Chad started and turned around. He saw a young girl with Down syndrome. You must be Betty, Chad gasped. Yes, that's my name. Don't wear it out, Betty said slowly, as that was how her brain worked. Oh, great. I'm inside a mental retard's head, talking to another retard, he thought to himself. Dark clouds rolled in, blocking the sun. The weather began to become chilly. Lightning flashed, thunder cracked, a downpour of rain. Let's get into the barn, called Betty. The wind began to pick up as the two got to the barn. What just happened? Asked Chad. You must have thought of something bad, Betty replied. Angie can read our minds, and if she gets mad, this is what happens, she explained. Most of the time, it is like it was when you came, Betty continued. But times it gets cloudy. That's when I know that Angie is sad. How do we get out of here? Chad asked Betty. We don't, Betty replied. Sometimes Angie lets us out when she is lonely, but she has control over us. We will never become free to leave her. She paused, then added, You'll get used to it, and we'll come to enjoy being inside Angie's brain. Some time passed. The storm subsided, and the sunny day reappeared. The ponies were back playing on the other side of the creek. Betty asked, Which pony do you think is the prettiest? I like that turquoise one with that brick red mane and tail. After a long moment, Chad answered, I think I like the neon green one with the navy blue mane and the silver tail. It has the same colors as the Seattle Seahawks, and I am a Seahawk fan. Over time, the two became friends. Chad recognized his arrogance and repented of his evil deeds. his evil thoughts. He admitted to himself that he was odd, that he didn't belong with the group he had hung with. He was a great football player, but he wasn't part of the guys. There was no sense of time inside Angie's brain. There were no clocks, no calendars, no sunrises, no sunsets, nothing to relate time to. Every so often, Chad would be brought out of Angie's brain and dance with her in her bedroom. When Angie was done with the dance, Chad would become dizzy, begin to float in the air, and be brought back inside her brain. Other times, Betty would be taken for a short amount of time. She would vanish right in front of Chad's eyes. At these times, Chad would become lonely and long for Betty's company, even though her brain worked slowly. That was how her brain worked. One night, as Chad was brought out of Angie's brain, he told her that he was tired of dancing with her. Please just let me leave. I promise that I will never tell a soul about you, he pleaded. Betty wants to be free as well. I can't continue being put back into your brain. That's making me feel sick. And she became sad and put Chad back inside her brain. The beautiful scene that Chad became used to was gone. The sun was blotted out by a thickness of clouds. The pretty little ponies were nowhere to be found. Betty became sad and asked, What happened? What did you say to Angie to make the beautiful ponies disappear? Before Chad could respond, Betty began to evaporate slowly, screaming in pain. In a short moment of time, she was gone, never to come back. Total blackness followed, no light to be seen. Chad was in a black void, floating. The ground under him had vanished. He had no sense of touch, no sense of sight, no sense of smell, no sense of taste, no sense of sound. Silence, total silence. Blackness and silence for what seemed to last forever. Chad was frightened. What if this black void does last forever? He asked himself. Please, Angie, lift this blackness from me. I am so sorry that I made you angry with me, Chad pleaded. He realized that he had needed Angie. Will you forgive me? I'll come dance with you whenever you would like. Please make it sunny again inside your brain and bring back the pretty little ponies, Chad said apologetically. After some time, the blackness vanished, the clouds went away, and the sun came out. The pretty little ponies of all different colors came out to the field and began to frolic. Thank you, Angie, Chad said with gratitude. From that time forward, Chad Stillwell understood that he would never be set free and accepted his plight. He learned to enjoy dancing with Angie. She became his angel. He loved watching her dance, her ponytail bouncing with her movement. Then it happened. Chad still was outside Angie's brain. There was no invite to dance, no warning. As he looked around, he found his angel lying on the floor, dead. He wept, and then he had been inside her brain for so long. He had become his life. What now? Chad asked himself. As he walked past the hallway mirror, Chad took a start. He saw a middle-aged man looking back at him, hair balding and graying, stomach protruding, toned muscles weakening.